More bad news for Florida's diminutive governor Ron DeSantis. Amid his growing corruption scandal, popular sentiment in the state is turning against him, and in a very hilarious way, no less. I'm David Reddish. Welcome back to Occupy Democrats. It's amazing to consider that 2 years ago, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis was considered a GOP frontrunner for its presidential nomination, not to mention one of the most popular governors in the nation. DeSantis, of course, made a name for himself battling wokeism, not that he can actually explain what that even means, and by defying COVID restrictions. Apparently, the people of Florida didn't mind the explosion of deadly COVID cases. That popularity has waned. After a disastrous presidential campaign, DeSantis has found himself mired in a wild corruption scandal that involves stealing millions in taxpayer dollars. Take a look.
All right. So here's what I can basically say is that the state of Florida learned that they were being overbilled for Medicaid and that they were owed $67 million. And the Ron DeSantis administration told that company, okay, return $57 million to the Florida taxpayers and send $10 million to the Hope Florida Foundation. Now, under state rules and laws, you are supposed to reveal any details of a settlement with a company that you're returning money to the state of Florida to. They never reported the $10 million to Hope Florida Foundation. That came out later. From there, within days of the money going into the Hope Florida Foundation, a nonprofit, the money was then diverted to two political committees that then transferred the money to a third political committee, Keep Florida Clean, which was being run by then Governor Ron DeSantis' chief of staff, James Uthmeyer, who today is the sitting attorney general in Florida. And they used that money, it is believed, to fight the marijuana initiative. So to put it as succinctly as possible, money that should have been returned to taxpayers ended up in a political action committee controlled and designated by the governor to fight a political campaign.
Oh, it gets even more embarrassing, so stay tuned. Things took an even more disastrous turn when, last week, Casey DeSantis, First Lady of Florida, who has some gubernatorial ambitions herself, tried to defuse the situation.
You know, I just wanted to say this. I think there's kind of like a misunderstanding or just a misunderstanding, I guess, is the best way to say it, about what Hope Florida is. Hope Florida is not a program. Hope Florida is an idea. Hope Florida is a philosophy. It is, how can we help people in need and do better legitimately? It's not about just giving somebody a check and hoping it goes well and we'll see you later and this is what you're entitled to and that's the end of the story.
Does this feel like a bad episode of America's Got Talent to anyone else? Or a really awful episode of Sabado Gigante? It's like Florida's Boris and Natasha just don't know when to quit. Today's breaking story certainly reinforces that notion. Speaking today at a press conference commemorating the start of red snapper season, Floridians do love to fish, a heckler took DeSantis to task, and it really got under his skin. Take a look.
We've always done the hey man, we got a good, that's a fraud. You should be ashamed of yourself for peddling those bogus narratives. So we were able to get, so in spite of all of that, in spite of the very cool and very conservative budget, we've been able to do really significant things on protecting environment, natural resources, Everglades restoration, water quality, huge investments, even things like trying to get these pythons out of there that are really causing a lot of.
At the time of this report, we don't know any details about the actual heckler, his identity, or what exactly he said. DeSantis' reaction, though, offers a good indicator. The reference to bogus narratives likely refers to the Hope Florida scandal. Both Ron and Casey DeSantis continue to deny wrongdoing and call the allegations fake news. Also, in case you're confused by the Python reference, I can speak to this firsthand. Floridians have a thing for reptiles as pets. Families will often buy exotic snakes, even briefly while on vacation. And when a pet like a python reaches a certain size, which is massive, it doesn't take long to reach it either. The owners simply release them into the wild where they then interbreed with other species of snakes. It's made wildlife in Florida more aggressive, to say the least. But I digress. Look, the paper trail doesn't lie. To borrow a phrase from the Watergate era, follow the money. In this case, it leads from the governor's office straight to Hope, Florida, then to two dark money groups, and then back to DeSantis. And if today's little spat offers any indication, the people of Florida are tired of corruption, and they are sick of DeSantis. Casey DeSantis may yet run for governor. She's already salivating, let's be honest. But she may not get very far, as the Florida GOP has begun to look elsewhere already. Republican Representative Byron Donalds announced in February that he will run for governor and that he has President Trump's endorsement. Former MSNBC host David Jolly has registered in the state as a Democrat, and there's wide speculation that he will announce a gubernatorial run in the coming weeks. In sum, DeSantis' time is running out, both as governor and as a political force. You know, it's really amazing to think that he'll be remembered, if he's remembered at all, as an overhyped also-ran that likes to eat pudding with his fingers. And yet, somehow, that's still better than Ron DeSantis deserves. This is Occupy Democrats.